had already left Navadvip and he had gone to Benares to study to become a good Mayavadi. And Vijayapachaspati, he remained. And Lord Chaitanya and his boyfriends, they go to school. What they would do is they would walk down to the river and they would swim across the river. And then they'd walk over to Vijayanagar. And they would be instructed over there. And at Vijayanagar there were these very tall, I think they're palm trees. And those trees came from pencils that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had. And one day he took his pencils in class and outside the place he stuck his pencils in the ground and boom, these big trees came out. And they're still there. You can see those big trees. Like palm trees, I think, I can't remember. But when we went there on Purikram, that was like one rolling place. And we were having wild kirtan. And then we all just dove, and got down in the dusk. It was a very dusty, nice dusty place. And we were all rolling back and forth in the dust there. It was very ecstatic. Everybody rolling in the dust and screaming Guranga. And the whole gang of us, you know. And we're like rolling over one another, you know, getting the dust all over it. Very, very nice. Very beautiful, Vijayanagar. And you go down from Vijayanagar. Actually, that's Vijayanagar. That's the house of Vijayapachaspati. I actually saw Gopalacharya's family houses back there on the back somewhere. And then you walk down, and then you come to the village, the actual village of Vijayanagar. And there's one Namahatta in Vijayanagar. And they're all, naturally they're Bengalis, and they're all disciples of Srila Govinda Maharaja. And every year we would go there, they would make a feast. And they make a feast, and Govinda Maharaja said, "What do you all want?" Shivaram Swami, and I said, "We want different types of spinach, different types of shak." So we'd go into this feast, and there would be at least 20 different varieties of shak cooked. Very tasty, along with everything else. And we would eat shak till it was coming out our ears. Very nice, Vijayanagar. Vijayanagar. And then there's a lake there. And we would all that's where we took our baths, and we'd camp over there. So, when Lord Chaitanya reached Vijayanagar, he stopped at the home of Vijayapachaspati, the brother of Gopalacharya. And the Lord went there, and so he's come back to Bengal. And huge crowds started gathering to see Lord Chaitanya. For 5 consecutive days, all the people gathered to see the Lord, and there was no rest. Out of fear of the crowd, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left at night and went to the town of Pulia, which is the present-day Navadvip. So Srila Prabhupada gives a purport. Apparently there were huge crowds, like hundreds and thousands of people were like storming the place to have darshan of Lord Chaitanya. Because his, first of all, he was Nimai from Rome, but then they had heard of all the things that he had done and that he was bestowing love of God. People were just storming the place. Crowds and throngs of people. If one considers the statements of Chaitanya Bhagavat along with the description by Lochan Das Thakur, it is clear that present-day Navadvip was formerly known as Kuliagram. While at Kuliagram, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed his favor upon Devananda Pandit and delivered Gopal Chapo and many others who had previously committed offenses at his lotus feet. At that time, to go from Vijayanagar to Kuliagram, one had to cross a branch of the Ganga. All of these old places still exist. Chinnadanga was formerly situated in Kuli ground, which is now known as Kolera. Does anyone know Devananda Pandit? Does anyone know the story of Devananda Pandit? Devananda Pandit. Devananda Pandit, he offended one of Lord Chaitanya's great Vaishnavas. Because of that, he committed offense to the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya went there to free him. He says, bestow his favor. And there's that place, that area of Navadvipa is called Aparada Banga. And if you go to that place and if you pray in Aparada Banga, then you become free from the reactions of offenses. That's a good place to go. And then Gopal Chapel. Anyone can recall Gopal Chapel? Who is he? He's the one that put the stuff outside of Srivasa's house. Gopal Chapel. Because they were having, the Vaishnavas were meeting in Srivasa Thakur's place. And they were having ecstatic kirtan in the evening. And most of the people around, or many of the people around were smartas. And Gopal Chapel, he was a smarta. And in order to defame the Vaishnavas, outside of Srivasa's door, he put like wine bottles and flowers for doing some tantric puja, and to make it look like something nasty was going on inside of Srivasa's house when this kirtan was going on. And then he was cursed. He was cursed and he got leprosy, is that it? He got leprosy. And then, and he was really suffering. He was living on the banks of the Ganga, correct? And he was really suffering with his leprosy. And at one point, Lord Chaitanya he asked Lord Chaitanya to forgive him. Lord Chaitanya said no. And then Lord Chaitanya went back this time and lived with Gopal Chapel. Many atheists and blasphemers came and fell at the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord in return excused them and gave them love of Krishna. And that's all in Kolera. And there's one temple there, this neighborhood of the Pandit Gautam Mat. That's situated in Kuli ground. When Sri Nrsimhananda Brahmachari heard that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Vrindavan, he became very pleased and mentally began decorating the way. First, Nrsimhananda Brahmachari contemplated a broad road starting from the city of Pulia. He bedecked the road with jewels, upon which he laid a bed of stemless flowers. He mentally decorated both sides of the road with bakul flower trees, and at intervals on both sides he placed lakes of transcendental nature. These lakes had bathing places constructed with jewels, and they were filled with blossoming lotus flowers. There were various birds chirping, and the water was exactly like nectar. The entire road was surcharged with many cool breezes which carried the fragrances from various flowers. He carried the construction of this road as far as Kanai Natashala. So it's a nice thing, isn't it? If we were developed like that in our Krishna consciousness, then we would always be, decorating here to there, with beautiful roads and jewel trees and transcendental lakes, so that Koda Nitai and Mayapushashi could walk here and there on roads like that. So he heard the Lord Chaitanya was going, and he sat down and he just started making a road to Vrindavan that his Lord Chaitanya could walk on. But his meditation would go only as far as Kanayanatashala. He couldn't create the road after that. Then the mind of Nrsingananda Brahmachari, the road could not be constructed beyond Kanayanatashala. He could not understand why the road's construction could not be completed, and thus he was astonished. Why is my meditation being stopped at this one particular city?